rats. Hey, how you guys? And I wonder if you can hear me because I have my Yeti plugged in today and I'm just a bit unsure of whether it's recording because, let me explain. On this laptop, I have about 5 USB ports, but some seem to work and some don't. So I'm going to just check whether this is actually, you can actually hear me, because if not, I'll have to go in and do another USB port thing, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to double check this so that I know if this is going out, which is terribly tedious, I know, darlings, but it's really important for me to know. If you want to send some reactions across the screen, if you actually are on here with me, and that would be lovely because then I'll know. But as I say, I'm just going to spend 2 seconds checking to find out if this is showing up. I'm just going to go in and check whether it actually is showing up on my page, because I know I can always edit the I can, oh God, it's just really annoying these days. I just really want to crack in with doing this recording, and I'm trying to work out, is this thing actually recording? I don't know. So I am going to check. I am going to bother, because if it's not doing what it's meant to do, then the true truth is this is a waste of time. And it's Sunday. It's Sunday, everybody. It's Sunday, and I'm here. And so you'll just have to accept that it's just going to take a couple of seconds for me to do this, because I always edit. And always edit this first bit out, as you know. You can always edit. Good old zoom. Have a look. See if I'm there. It should be zoomed in. So just shh. Listen. Oh, and always edit this first bit out. Yes. Good old zoomy. Great. So what that means, because the other day when I came in and did a live, I didn't put my Yeti on. And because I use a laptop and a little camera, and if you ever want to know what I use, I'll let you know. Because I use a Yeti microphone, which is this big beast here, and I use a little Logitech camera. I plugged things in, and sometimes it's difficult to know whether all of these little are all working. Hey, I'm really excited. So today is, let's just make sure we've got the right day. I think today is the 6th, isn't it? Is it today the 6th of, yeah, it's the 6th of December. So we really don't have much time till the end of the year in 2021. And what a weird year this has been. Right, I did my tree yesterday. I had a day off, so didn't see you. Coming in today to bring you more tips and tell you a little bit more about what's going on, and to suggest two things today to ask a question. Leave this for you to answer if you happen to come across it. Don't know which order to do things in. Haven't quite made up my mind. I've decided, I did a questionnaire yesterday that showed I am pretty much on the attention deficit disorder spectrum. No surprise to me, she says, having all these balls I'm juggling at the same time. And so I oftentimes need to give myself a very strong structure over what I do. So I've got a plan of what I'm going to do. I'm very fortunate because I'm from a family where I was very much trained into harnessing my strengths into getting outcomes. And I will eternally be grateful to my 94-year-old mother and my father, who had a very successful business, for enabling me to understand how to do that from a childhood age. So the two things I'm going to be talking about today, there's two tips today I'm bringing to you on the 6th day of Christmas. The 6th day of Christmas, my Jilly brought to me. Okay, so today is tips. I'm going to ask a question and I'm going to tell you about something. So there's three things I've come on to do. The first thing I'm going to do is ask. So I'm going to ask you, please, if you watch this, can you give me more feedback on what it is you would like to know more about? And I'll explain why when I come to the other thing that I'm going to tell you about. But you know, I've been doing this health game now for, well, I say health, it's really around thriving and potential. I've been doing this now since 1974. 1974, I'm really old. I have a birthday next week on the 10th of December. A really big birthday. And no, I'm not 80. That'd be mean. I've got a long way to go because I'm going to live to be 100 at least. I'm sorry, I'm going to be around to annoy you for a long time. And so anyway, but one of the things I wanted to know, because I am really interested in knowing what you want to be able to do better. Because there's no point in me creating stuff and putting it out there if you don't want things. And actually, it's even like in the group, if what I'm doing is putting out like resources like this, and I'm finding the majority of the people in the group are not either engaging, looking at it, commenting on it, giving me feedback on it. I mean, I don't mind if I see people have actually been looking at it, because I'm a human. If somebody's been looking, you know, if like I get 20 people who've looked at the stuff out of nearly 80 people in the group, I'm like, whoa, that's great. Because there are a group of people that I would call, they just never comment on anything. I don't really know why they're here. I don't mean to be rude to you guys if you actually today happen to watch this, but it's like, maybe one day you might answer, but you know, so I want to know what you want to know about. And that will bring me into my third point. So I'm asking you, tell me, I want to know. Right? I'm asking you. I'm asking you to tell me. That's the first thing today. And you know, in business, this is a really important thing to do. I was introduced to this, I don't know when. I mean, as a clinician, you know, the what would you like to have happen question is like a foundation question that I've put into my questionnaires ever since I've been running on my own clinic practice. You know, I haven't ever gone like, oh, you've arrived, you've come with back pain, you've been referred by your doctor for this. It's like, okay, yeah. So what would you like to have happen? You know, what's the big thing that you'd like to have happen? It's as I say, it's on my intake questionnaires. And there's a bit of a story there which I could tell you around, but I mean, and part of that story is listening to the last 8 months, listening to guru coaches telling me how to do things, how to run my business. But sometimes some of the simple things that, in inverted commas, you, and I don't mean to be pointing at you, but we, us, we need to do. Some of those simple things that us, the collective, us, you, them, me, we. Some of those simple things are actually really pretty straightforward stuff to do. So some of it is stuff that you already know. It's just that maybe you might not have the confidence to put into practice, or you've forgotten. Yeah, there are times where I'm actually teaching people stuff like resources, and actually it can be even sometimes when I go through teaching people stuff that we get a bit of the way through and they go, oh, I remember now. Oh my God, I learned all this stuff years ago. How come I've just forgotten it, right? Because it might be that you have those resources inside of you and you've really truthfully just like hidden them. Your unconscious mind has gone, you know this program system, do you think we need what do you think, sister? I'll just file it over here under not really used very much. Like in my case, all the Latin I learned at school, it's like, yep, it must all be in there somewhere. I don't know where I filed it. I haven't a clue where I filed all of that. It's like the French and the Spanish that I learned at school. It's like, and then I start looking at a newspaper, a French newspaper, and it's like, I can read all this. It's easy. Okay, I understand this. Or Spanish, I can read it. Yeah, I understand this. So somewhere in there, there's all this like piles and piles of stuff. But, you know, also we have to accept that there are times where actually we've never learned this stuff. So I'm throwing this out. This is the first thing I'm throwing out to you today. And I'm saying, listen, I'm listening to you. I'm listen. I want to listen to you. You. That's you. You know, like you. If you're looking at this, because actually, though, if I create something and it's like, it's just not quite what I want though. You know, it's tell me what you want, I'll make it. Why? Because I'll tell you something in a minute. So that brings me to the two things that I've said that I would suggest that you could put like in. I'm really cross because I wanted to find. I should have had a big piece of paper and my pastels, because there are two words I'd like you to think about. The first one, the two L words. One is love, and one is listen. Yeah, really interesting words. Really interesting words, and this will bring me to my third point because I keep my attention deficit brain keeps going, oh, tell them about the third point. Right, so let's stick to the first two. Oftentimes when you go to consultations or you talk to people, what can happen is that you don't really listen. And if you don't understand something, then if you read it and you think you understand it, or if you hear something and you think you understand it, you don't necessarily check. And I'll tell you how I tested this. This is truth, right? If you are a friend on my page, my own personal page, or if you are a snooper, a stalker, if you go and have a look on my page, you'll see I posted up a few things recently which were a little bit controversial. Not massively controversial, but just a little bit controversial, right? And there were reasons that I did that I could talk to you about in terms of business. But because what happened was when people saw the posts, they reacted straight, responded. And it was interesting for me to think about whether people had actually bothered to really ask, well, what do you mean by this? Before they responded. So listening, really deeply listening, is something that I recognize is a skill that we all can improve. Me, yeah, I can get better at listening. You get on a call with me, and the problem in inverted commas I have is I talk too much. I know that. I need to just shut up and listen to people, right? However, we also need to listen to what's going on inside of us. Because sometimes we need to remember that the words we use are metaphors. So in other words, I don't know, sorry. When I was doing some training once, somebody asked me, what's the earliest memory you ever had? And I told them what it was. And it was me talking to myself inside my head, saying something, which I at the time believed. And then I thought about things and I thought, you know, I wouldn't have been able to speak. I didn't know what English was. I didn't know how to say words in this language at that time. So this is something I've constructed. It must be because it doesn't fit. But for a long while, I believed this was a truth, right? So when I experience the world. Like I look out of my window where I'm based right now, and it's a very, what I'd call still day. In other words, it's like this. There's no movement of the trees. There's no movement of the trees. There's no wind. I can't see any birds flying around. It's like frozen in time, yeah? So I would use the word still to describe that. Someone else would use a different word. When I hear people talking, sometimes I need to stop talking, and we all do. We all need to stop talking. I really, really listen to what someone is saying. Because if we jump in and make an assumption, we get it wrong. Okay, so that's that stuff. So these 2L words, words that I've decided to put, I'm putting them into practice for me. Like I'm going to make, after I finish today, I'm going to make a big card with my pastels, because as you probably might have all gathered by now, I paint, I draw, I create. I'm going to take my pastels and I'm going to make 2 great big signs. One word on one sign is going to be listen. Listen. Because unless we understand what the meaning of something is to someone else, when we're having a chat, we're like, we're not really connecting. Okay, so listen, listen. Listen to your body. Listen to the feelings you're getting, you know? Really listen to what's going on. Listen to what other people are saying. Listen to nature. Listen, really listen, and ask questions to get clarity. Listen and ask yourself questions. What does this pain mean to me? What's this anxiety all about? You know? Cool stuff. So the next word is the word I've used before, and I'm going to use it again. It's love. You know, this word love is huge. Coming at things from a place of love. In other words, wanting to share love with other people, with yourself, giving yourself love, really liking yourself, valuing yourself. This is huge too. So the 2 words, oh, it's 4 fingers, 2 words. The 2 words are listen and love. Listen to other people, listen to yourself. Listen if you're in business. Listen to what your clients want. Don't offer them some stuff over here if what they want is this. Okay? It's no good giving them stuff they don't want. They don't want it. That's it. You might not want these lives. Somebody will. And love. Love's a huge one. If you really love yourself, you're going to show up. You're going to keep being there. It doesn't matter if somebody's nasty to you, you're still going to show up. And believe me, you are talking to somebody who's made some of the biggest mistakes in their career because they've thought that people didn't like me. I've made innumerable mistakes based on the assumption that people didn't like me. Why? Because somebody has told me something and I've gone, oh, all right then. Okay, I won't stay. But you know, love and listening, so important. Make big signs, put them up, draw big pictures of hearts, you know, stick them up everywhere. Love yourself, love what you do, love everything about you, be your biggest fan. This is my day 6 top tip. So listen and love yourself. And that brings us to my final point, which is this. I am going to be creating over my Christmas period because it's going to be a lot of time on my own. It's going to be a really weird time because it's not like Christmas normally is. I'm going to be creating some trainings, some products, some webinars, some half days, some bits and pieces. And I can map those out and I can create those just pretty much around anything that I do, any of the material that I've got I can bring to you, which is like massive. Sleep, language, business, pain, anxiety, depression. But how do I know what you want? And what would be really nice would be to create some products that people said, yeah, I really want that. And then to create like a half-day webinar that I record, a full-day webinar that I record with lots of bits, and then put it up that people can access on my website and start creating like this whole library of stuff that you can access that I can send you to. So that if somebody suddenly pops a finger up in my message box and says, oh, do you know, I wonder if you can help me, I'm really experiencing difficulty. It's like, well, yeah, you can work with me, or do you want to have a look at my library? There might be something in my library that you could use. So that's my question to you. Have a lovely Sunday. I enjoy it because it is Sunday. It's the 6th today. 6th already. We've got 25 days left in 2020. Wow! So if you watch this and you think to yourself, actually, there is something I really like, I wonder if she can do something on this, send me a message. You don't have to post a comment underneath so everybody knows that you want something about confidence or self-esteem or no. Just send me a message. And I'll go, yeah, thank you for that. And it will be me who responds. It won't be some message bot. I mean, having said that, I think on my business page, I do have my dog Bella answering the messages, but she doesn't really. But I will get those messages. And then I will come back to you myself, not a VA, not a PA. I'll actually come back to you myself. So, have a lovely day. I'm just about to go and, where are we now, 11 o'clock? I'm just about to go and start sorting out the kitchen, doing the normal stuff, putting some lunch in the oven, finishing off the decorations in the kitchen, in the sitting room, my tree and the rest of the stuff, and getting it really feeling Christmassy, spraying around, putting some nice Christmas scents on, nice music going. I hope you're having a lovely day, and yeah, that's about it really. I hope that we get to chat. See you tomorrow. Take care. Love you all.